Good evening, John Augustine here. I hope I find you well. How did you get on today vis-a-vis the drizzle? I was up early this morning because today, the 21st of July 2018, was the 6th anniversary of my darling wife's death in 2018, the 24th of July. And the Holy Mass was in the Sacred Heart Church in Kilmainham Wood near Kings Court, County Meath. And those in here are Cavan, quite frankly. And I think that's where they go. They don't go anywhere else. Excuse me, s'il vous plaît. So that was the marvellous. And as my friend Eamon was down for a couple of days and we did some work outside, he did certainly most of it. He's a great, he's my age, but he's younger, 8 months. Not a lot, is it? But still, he's younger. So when I was in second class, he was probably only in first class, going back, of course, in time. So we left here. Funny enough, across the way, the Old Castle Agricultural Show was on, and all the ones with horses and horse boxes and kind of ones with more than a few horses into that field behind. It's rented by a farmer for the last half a dozen years, and he keeps it well to give him his due. And but he tidies up and there's parking and all the rest of it, and then a kind of an avenue that there's bars around, so it's well organised. But they all come down. But we left here at about 9:05. I was up early and I called my friend. He's in another room, so I was the gates open and that, and I had done my exercises that I do ever since that accident I had in Medjugorje some years ago. And suffice to say that I was able to do my morning prayer videos and that type of thing, three of them. And but I called my friend Eamon, so he was up and he'd have a few things to do and put things into his car, but he had already done that. So we were able to leave here. He had his breakfast porridge he takes in every day. I take it 6 days a week, but on the Sunday I treat myself to a bit of muesli and cornflakes and a bit of fruit on it, of course. So we headed off, and before this, we were able to get away grand and went via Bailieborough to King's Court and then on to Kilmainham Wood, which we were there about 10:05, and the Holy Mass at 11:15. Now, even the church wasn't open, but we were able to visit, and it was dry there. As we were going, there was this old drizzle, sometimes it's heavy and then your wipers go slow, but and then I'd have to turn on the air conditioning to get rid of the mist because you get a bit of kind of on the windscreen and that you have to just try to clear it so the air conditioning clears it, but it makes it a bit colder. Anyway, so we got there and we were able to say a decade of the rosary at my darling wife's grave, and I had flowers, kind of fresh flowers, which I laid there and we said the prayer, and I love to touch we all have our own little ways, don't we? I love to touch the headstone. Say, here we are, Judy, and tell her like that we're there and we're saying a decade of the rosary and all the rest of it. I talk like as if she's listening, and probably is. And I said, we're going in there and I'll be doing the reading because I like to do it. It's recognition, and thank God that I can do it, and I did it. And the priest, a lovely priest, new priest, an Irish priest, Father Kelly, he came down and shook hands because we were a couple of seats from the front. There was a lady then on the left hand side, and anyway, he shook hands. He said, "You'll be doing the reading," and I introduced me to myself. And Julie, my darling wife, was christened Julie, but when she was in the national school, there was Irish was very much taught, and so the Irish for Julie was Sheila, and she was called Sheila, and then it stuck in our family, but I wouldn't call her that. I called her Julie all the time because that was her what she was christened. When I was in the national school, John is I'm naming them as Sean, but I certainly didn't stick to that or allow anybody to be yapping that way. It was John, that was it, and John Augustine, parents christened me, which I regard as a great gift. You couldn't ask for better saints. Anyway, we were at the Mass, and the priest gave a lovely sermon. I call it a sermon, I hate the word homily. Not that don't get me wrong. I regarded a homily as something like when you're at home and you're talking to somebody in the home. It's a very peculiar word to describe what the priest says, and he was very good. Oh yeah, it was lovely. My friend Eamon was impressed because he lives in Palmerstown, but he's originally from Ballinabrackey outside Kinnegad. Grand little spot. As he was born, our mother was a teacher. It was a lovely big 2-story house, and it's still there. But funny enough, when there was a waste extraordinary, had great stuff in the house, but it was robbed by tinkers, travellers, or whatever you call it. Cleaned out, but he had a right to have it more secure. But sure, it's always after the event, isn't it? And and I think it was rented to somebody for a while, but now it sort of needs real doing up. You know, a place can go into decay if it's not maintained. Anyway, so we did that, and we were there so early. The church wasn't open, so we had to walk around. And he wouldn't have had experience of that. It was explain places to him and that. And where when my darling wife died of the month's mind, like we had a dinner for her in King's Court in a place called the Wishing Well. It was marvellous, and then there was I think there was about 50 or more at it. But wherever it was, we had the charge which we agreed. I met, and it was a self-service to come up and had a choice of two dishes, a curry dish or another dish that was served beef stroganoff. And I personally like beef stroganoff. That's what I had. Not too keen on the other. And then a dessert, have a tart and ice cream or something else. And I had the other one, but I had to wait a bit for it. And my sister came to that. No, she didn't come to that. She was at the funeral. But there was a good crowd then at the month's mind, including all my cousins. And so, why am I talking about that? I'm talking about today. I'm at the one digression. But and I said to my friend David, it'll be dry when we get to Kilmainham Wood, and it was. So we're able to take a walk around without the drizzle and do our needful. And then Saxon came, lady. She drove. She had a feeling she was a bit late. It was just a little after 10:30, and you want to be there before that, the mass at 11:15, because there's a lot to be done. And oh, she was running around. You know, you want to be there in time. You want to be there an hour beforehand to just do things handy, isn't that right? Anyways, we saw a bit, and my friend Amy saw a bit down, but there's a river there, and it's very peaceful. So that's the day, and I chatted with the priest then afterwards in the sacristy. They have a toilet there, so you kind of do need to sort of just go. And so then I chatted and I thanked him for the marvellous sermon that he did, and I gave my card, the Christian TV Ireland. I said, look it up, and because he'd been talking about the Word of God, and you need preachers and people to pass on the faith, family sometimes, but it's not being practiced as much. When there was a good crowd at church, and though I had heard it had gone down, but thank God it was a good crowd. And I saw Julie's sister Philomena, So she was gone. I was going to introduce my friend Eamon to her, but she was gone, and somebody shook hands with us there behind us, and we introduced Eamon. So it was a grand affair, and it was dry over there. But as soon as we were leaving, suddenly the drizzle again. But for while we were there, it was dry. Isn't that all you want? And it was a kind of that kind of an old drizzly day. And it wasn't a great day for this agriculture show, and I think they changed it from some other time to get fine weather. But they seem to be very unfortunate. It always seems to be raining, but not as much. It's like a black sky. And last night it turned out a lovely blue sky, and yet it had been. And I said it'd probably be dark again in the morning. Right, no, it was drizzle, but it was dry from we were in at the Sacred Heart Church in Kilmainham Wood. So there you are. I just thought I'd share that with you, and I hope all goes well. You have a nice evening. I'm going to do now prayer to our Blessed Mother, even prayer to our Blessed Mother after this. Bye now.